Hey folks, how's it going? It's your favorite realtor team, Evantz Saint-Gerard.
And Dean Graver.
We have our special guest today, Eric Firestone, legal
How's everybody doing?
extraordinaire. And we also have Angelo Gionis from Freedom Mortgage.
How you doing today?
Great. All right, so we had a couple of questions people that were asking us from last week and also this week. They wanted to know the difference between forbearance and modification. So Angelo, if you wanted to talk about what the difference are between the two.
Sure. That's something that's coming up with a lot of my clients, and it's a conversation that we need to have with consumers. Right now, there's a couple different options for some of our clients, and one of them is the forbearance. So what does a forbearance mean? So if your payment's $2,000 a month and you call up Freedom Mortgage and you tell them, hey, I'm furloughed, I'm unemployed right now, I can't make the payment. What they're willing to do is forbearance the next 3 months of payments and move it to the fourth month. So basically what they're doing is they're kicking the can down the road. And in the fourth month, they do all 3 months plus that. Now, some clients are a little bit nervous in regards to that because if they can't make the hey, what's going to happen in 4 months? If that's their only option for right now, I would tell them to take it because by the fourth month, maybe there's going to be some other opportunities or other things that the lender, meaning us or any other banks, could do. One of the hearing is if the clients couldn't make the 3 payments plus the one thing that may come out with the forbearance is they'll divide those 3 months over the next 12 months, and that would just add a $500 payment to your original payment. It doesn't change the note. It doesn't change the term. It doesn't change anything in terms of the loan instrument and when it's due. In terms of a modification, different. What a modification is you send paperwork to the bank or the lender. They review those documents and they will either change your term, change your rate, change the payment. And really that's something that's secure and concrete, meaning that the rate would change, the payment would change, and the term would change. And that would be paid on a monthly basis. So if you had the option to do a forbearance or a modification safer, but again, it changes the terms and it changes when the due date is and it changes what the outlook is on the loan. Now, in terms of the forbearance, like I said, you were just really kicking the can down the road for the 2 to 3 months. And at that time, if you can't make the payment in full, the lender will help you and accommodate you. The last thing I want to say is I'm having a lot of these real conversations with some of my clients that aren't even furloughed or laid off. They may have just lost, let's just say, bonus, overtime, or that extra money they would get that would really make them secure. And a third option that a lot of them, we kind of talk about, maybe we should refinance. Because one of the things about refinancing, it's a little bit like a modification, but if it works, number one, the rate will be lower. Number two, the payment would be lower. And number three, on most refinances, you get to skip at least, depending on how you position the refinance, sometimes you could have as much as 60 days or 2 payments that aren't taken on a new refinance. So those are the 3 different options we do a lot. And if anyone has any questions, just let me know.
It sounds like a refinance is the safest because nothing's going to occur with your credit with the refinance. How does
Well,
the other?
very, very interesting on that. A lot of times my clients will call me up. Last week we were talking about possibly doing a modification or a forbearance. And after we kind of crunch some of the numbers towards the refinance, because that's something that's going to change for the life of the loan. Let's just take it like this. A forbearance, you don't pay for 3 months. You owe the same amount for the rest of the term, but you owe that balloon payment in 3 months. In terms of a refinance, if you get the opportunity to do that, your payment's going to be lower for the life of the loan, and you do get 30 to 60 days off in terms of the new payment, depending on how you position it. And a modification, again, that's something completely where you have to send in your income documents and do a workout with the lender. But they're all on the table. Our company's servicing every client possible. Just here to help and give the information.
All right, so if a person was to decide they want to do one of those 3 options, obviously they can't just stop paying. They have to call and let the bank know that they want to do one of those 3. How long does it take to start the process for either of those 3 options?
Well, since this COVID-19 came out, it's pretty much immediate in terms of if they need to do it, they need to call their lender. What I've been telling a lot of my clients, those calls, the servicing companies, us, the calls are usually taken between an hour and a half or 2 hours just to get someone on the phone. Now that time's been cut back in half to about an hour to 30 minutes, depending on what time you call, but you really need to reach out to your lender and they really need to agree to something. The last thing you want to do is just not make a payment and say, oh, I heard the government program allows you to do it. It doesn't allow you to do anything. You speak to your lender and they give the consent and you sign the paperwork and the forms. Very, very important. Whether it's a refinance, whether it's a modification or a forbearance.
All right. Now, Evans, I want to just ask Eric a question. Also, Eric, is there any legal ramifications or anything with one of the forbearance or the modification?
Well, the forbearance, the good thing about the forbearance, well, certainly let's talk about the forbearance. So forbearance, they're not going to report you to the credit bureaus. So that's something that's important. They let you know they're not going to report you to the credit bureau. So you won't get a 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late. So it won't affect your credit at all. And what I'm seeing from other lenders when I've talked to clients already is that they are giving you the option at the end to either do the lump sum payment or to spread it out over a year. So, and I don't even know, I'm hoping that maybe they'll come up with some other things, because you may have a lot of people that can't afford even to pay it over a year because they're just getting started. So I'm hoping that possibly some lenders might want to just put it on the back end of the loan, like a balloon payment at the end of the mortgage, so that it makes it a little bit easier for the borrower. But I haven't seen that yet. But for certainly the first two, the most important thing to know is that there is no credit ding on your credit for when you enter into a foreclosure or a modification. But if you don't make the call and you just assume you're going to get it, if you call after 30 days, they're going to ding your credit and they're not going to be able to take it back. So my advice to people is, don't wait the 30 days. Get it done right away before your grace period is expired and before it can adversely affect your credit.
Eric, could you repeat that last part one more time, just in case people didn't get that? They have to call who?
You have to call their lender.
Okay.
Or actually, if they can't, you know what they should do? Even better than that. Go online, go to the website, because if you go on, like Angelo said, you can be on hold for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the bank. So easier to go online, if you haven't registered your account, register your account with your lender online, set up your email and a password, and then you'll be able to look at your account, and then you'll go to, assistance, COVID assistance, and every lender has it on their website. And literally, you don't even have to come up with a reason. All you have to say is, I need financial assistance. They don't ask for any documents. And just by stating that, they will automatically online give you the forbearance with nothing more. Like Angelo said, for a modification, something different. Then you have to submit documents, and it's a longer process. But
The other thing I would suggest for anybody who's out there they're not really affected, they can make their payments. I would suggest make your payments. If you're not affected, you still have your job, you're still getting paid, make your payments regularly.
definitely.
Yeah, Evans, that's actually a really great point. We've had some roundtables in regards to that. If everyone decided not to make their payments, that would really affect the industry in whole. Okay. And that's something that we really don't want to have happen. This is out there for the people that truly can't make their payments, not that they don't want to make their payments. And again, I'm not here to judge who needs it, who doesn't need it. All I'm asking is your personal situation. If you feel you need it, by all means, go for it. But if you can make the payments and you have the ability to make the payments, I would advise that you go ahead and make those payments, because the opportunities to do something else down the line is critical, because A, the values of the homes will stay higher, B, the rates will stay lower, and all that good stuff. If everyone decided at once not to make a payment, not to do anything, it could really affect the value of your homes, the rates, and really having an opportunity to sell, buy, or whatever in the future. And that's really the biggest issue that the lenders are looking at, to make sure that the pro and the actually facilities of the mortgages out there are still available.
All right. Well, this is like week 4 of the quarantine. So I'm going to ask Dean, what are you seeing now with the sellers? What are the sellers that you're speaking to? What are you hearing from them?
Well, I think people are getting a little bit used to this. at this time, not accepting completely, accepting a little, just used to it a little bit. And the conversations have become easier with them, and they're looking for solutions to how they can sell their home if they need to sell their home. Where the conversations 2 and 3 weeks ago were really just, how you doing? Are you okay? Are you safe at home? Now we've gotten it, almost everybody is home, almost everybody, a lot of people. And those people want to talk, and we work through the steps that are taken to get their home on the market. And I found, honestly, everybody the last couple of days that I've been speaking to receptive to an open conversation about how we do this, how the process works. And something I was saying earlier to Evans was realtors are needed now more than ever, because it's not just finding a home. It's not just trying to sell a home yourself. It's the process of getting through this right now. And with that, this team here, and we're working real hard to stay on top of that.
There's been a lot of changes in the real estate industry, mortgage industry, and legal industry. A lot of changes, but a lot of stuff is in the same. Pretty much technology is new. We're using that more in our day-to-day operations, but the communication's still there. So obviously, if you're a buyer, you're a seller, you think about investing, you definitely have to build your team, like we always stress. Build your team, put yourself in the right hands with the right group, and they're going to guide you to where you need to be, whether it's buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Eric, is there anything that you're seeing? You've had a couple closings recently. Is anything new coming up since last week?
I mean, nothing new. I think the biggest challenge is just coordinating everything has been the biggest challenge, because right now there are some attorneys that are showing up at closings, and some buyers and some sellers, and sometimes nobody's showing up at a closing. So it really depends. But right now it seems like everything's being done remotely for the most part. A lot of people are waiting outside, coming in, documents are being overnighted. So it's taking a lot more work to get it done, but it can get done. It certainly can. And it is getting done. It's just people just need a lot more patience, and people just need to know that it may take a day or 2 or 3 to actually get a closing completed. Not always. Sometimes it can be done in one day, depending on who's showing up and who's not. I never would ever tell anyone to show up at a closing if they feel as though their safety or their health is in jeopardy. I think that's really important. Some people don't mind, and if they do mind, then we work around that. We try to work with the clients and with the other professionals involved to see what everybody's comfortable with, and seeing if something can be done to make everybody feel good.
All right. And Angelo, is there anything you want to add regarding the mortgage right now? Anything?
Yeah, one of the things we've been seeing is it's business as usual. That's really to express to our clients in a positive way. We've seen a lot of our clients that were affected with COVID-19 actually recovering and then scheduling, whether it's a refinance or a purchase. So that's happening, and it's happening, which is great for not only the clients, it's really great to uplift our community and the state in general in regards to the different opportunities that we see in regards to that. Also, the industry in whole, in terms of purchases and refinance before COVID, we were at record levels. Everybody was busy. Everybody wanted to buy homes. Everybody wanted to refinance. Everybody wanted to take care of that. And what we're seeing is that we still see the interest, but like you said, the communication and the actual execution may be taking a little bit longer. But let me give you an example. Freedom Mortgage, last month, we did $7.5 billion in business, in originations. That was one of our biggest months ever. And the reason why that got done was we were able to transition from a face-to-face model to a virtual model, stuff like this. So business is happening, it's changing, but I think what we're gonna see in the next 90 days is the business we're doing today is really gonna become the standard, and what we did in the past is really gonna become not the norm, which is gonna be a little interesting. And I'm excited for it. I might be 20 years in the business, but I think we all are, but we gotta really understand that this revolution and this change in technology is gonna hold, and this is the way it's going to be practiced going forward. They're going to tweak it. They're going to fine tune it. Yes. But I think it's going to see, what we could do. Dean, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, people buy things virtually all the time. I mean, we've gotten so used to Amazon shopping. We buy so many things. People buy cars online now, Carvana, stuff. So I know that this is a big purchase, a big investment, but there are many aspects of this business that don't have to be done with everyone getting in their car and meeting face to face to do. certainly face-to-face in the, we're still going to be there for everybody and as needed with everything. But I do look forward to, doing things a little bit differently and a little more efficient, which is what this is, adding a whole level of efficiency that we didn't have before. So I look forward to that.
I think with this technology, I think it's gonna be more convenient for the people who have busy schedules. We all have busy schedules, including our clients. And sometimes it's not convenient for them to meet at specific times. With this kind of technology, you can get the clients all together basically in a call. Better yet, you can get more than one, the whole family. Let's say there's a couple decision makers that need to know all the process. You can get them all on camera, on video, and explain the whole process to every single one of them. Another option, we can do virtual showings now, which we didn't really think about a few months ago. That's an option now that we can do. We got virtual closings, virtual consultations, virtual showings, and the list goes on and on and on. We have to embrace the technology and still keep the same kind of level of expertise that we had before. This is just gonna help modify it more, and I think it's gonna be able to help a lot more people. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, I think that to me right now, the biggest challenge is going to be, for the time being, how do we get deals into contract? That to me right now is the biggest challenge. And I've been talking to some of my sellers as well who have been on the market, had interest in their properties, and then everything came to a halt around the third week of March. And so now they're wondering what to do. And some of them are in contract to purchase houses and they haven't sold their other property yet. And so they're starting to get very stressed. So what I'm telling them is that the leverage or the advantage that they have is that they've had a number of open houses. And so I'm asking my clients, since we don't know what's going to be on the other side of this in terms of values, maybe you want to talk to your realtor about going back to all the people that attended those open houses, going back and saying, hey, listen, the seller's willing to be a little bit more flexible on terms, maybe more flexible on price. And I say to my clients, would you rather sell now or wait to find out what's on the other side? What's on the other side may be good, maybe not good, Russian roulette. So a lot of my clients are reaching out to their agents and saying, look, can you reach out to the people that showed up at the open houses? They've seen it already. They either like it or don't like it. And maybe we think outside the box. Maybe we put provisions in the contract to allow buyers that if they do lose their job during it, or if there's something happens within this time frame that they can't close, that they're going to be able to get out of the deal, and they'll feel a little bit more comfortable going in with the uncertainty, and the seller will feel as though I have my house in contract and I'm going forward, and if God forbid something happens down the road, at least then hopefully I'll be at a point where I can put it back on the market and people will see it in person. So I'm really trying to think of ways outside the box to get deals done right now with people that have already seen my clients' houses at open houses. So.
That's a good point, Eric.
All right. It's a good way to double back, basically, not just the people who came to the open houses, anyone who made a private showing appointment to see it previously before all
right, exactly.
Dean and I do this all the time. We have, if there's a change in the price of the property, or if we have another property in that same location, we'll reach out to those clients. Hey, you know what? We have another property on the market, or better yet, the price dropped, or just to find out basically if those buyers are still on the market, still looking. They might have seen a few houses and maybe things didn't work out with those houses and they might want to double back on this one. So we're always looking for opportunities to help our buyers and sellers basically get to the next level, next point.
And maybe there's a buyer out there that liked a house and they really loved it and they were going to make an offer, but then they got spooked by what happened, and understandably so. But maybe now that we're kind of hopefully at the peak and getting to be on the other side of it, and as bad as it is, they're talking about reopening and the governor was speaking today. Maybe those people now will be a little bit more amenable to making an offer. Maybe if the terms change, maybe, as I said, maybe if we change up contracts a little bit, maybe if, maybe if the price is slightly adjusted, maybe that'll help the seller and the buyer. So there's opportunities here, I think. Not enough people are taking advantage of it. So I think that's incumbent on not only buyers and sellers, but all the real estate professionals out there. No one's doing showings right now, so might as well double back with all the people, right?
Yep.
Good point.
All right, so last word for each person. So I'm going to go with you, Angelo. Last word.
Well, the one thing I was thinking about, little off topic, but it kind of isn't, your network, right? During this time and during what's going on, you never really understood the value of the people you speak to, the people you stay in contact with, and the people that could help you, you know. And the one thing I could tell is everyone on this call has very strong networks, whether it's in mortgages and you need help with a great attorney, realtor, mortgage professional, that's a strong network. But I'm just saying, if you needed help getting milk, bread, you know, hey, you know, my electric's out, I need a plumber ASAP, you know, they're not working, or this or that. I think I'm really proud of everyone on this call, because our networks are where if something happens or if we need something, we could reach out to someone we call a friend, and they're there to help us, you know, and it's really powerful. It really made me proud to do all those different networking events, speak to all those people, and really form those connections, because in situations like this, it's vital.
All right. Angelo, I got a second that.
Top that one.
Yeah, I'm going around calling the centers of influence, which is people that I've met through networking, past clients, people, buyers and sellers that I was, you know, there at the closing. I helped them move, whichever way they were going, buying or selling. And you know, actually, it's uplifting. I mean, these people would feel very friendly with a lot of them. Everybody's willing to speak to you right now, you know, more so, and engage with you more, and talk about their families and things going on. And I'm offering my help to them and their friends, you know, that need it, or if there's any valuable information that was shared with them, if they have a friend that needs it also, I'm more than willing to call their friends. But yeah, I mean, there's a good database, a good network there of people, and it makes you feel good, and it feels good to reach out and help people or offer help too.
All right, Eric.
Listen, I'm the more people I speak to, whether it's buyers and sellers, I'm sensing a lot of anxiety, but I think that this is an opportunity to really, when I speak to them, to basically inspire them, to calm them down, and to get them to the next level. Because I think a lot of this is fear. And when you're dealing with fear, it can get so irrational and it can get so overwhelming to the point where you're not making clear decisions. So I think it's important to keep in touch with all the people in your network, all the buyers and sellers or borrowers, to make sure that they are okay, that their head's in the right place, and that they're not going to make any decisions that'll be counterproductive because of fear.
Good point.
So we have a common theme here. It's all about connecting with the right people, building your team. I'm big on building a team. So whoever's watching this video, if you need help, whether it's real estate, legal, or mortgages, or you just want somebody to talk to, you can reach out to any one of us. We're here. We're always ready to help. And that's pretty much it. So just lean on the people that you need basically to help you get through the day, get through the month, or whatever the case may be. On that note, this has been another episode. We can't wait to hear from you guys from next week. So have a good one, guys.
All right, you guys have a great night, guys.
All right.
Everybody.